I learned a new move today. It's called the Gary Neville. It's something like this. Fuck Ronaldo, fuck Ronaldo, fuck Ronaldo, fuck Cristiano. And then you ask me to do the Gary Neville. Love Ronaldo, love Ronaldo, love Ronaldo, love Cristiano. Don't ask me again. Oh man, why you gotta ask me? Okay, I'll do the Gary Neville. Fuck Ronaldo, fuck Ronaldo, fuck Ronaldo, fuck Ronaldo. And I'ma do the Gary Neville. Love Ronaldo, love Cristiano. Man, today I saw the biggest switch up. Gary Neville, Gary Neville, Gary Neville. Yo, Gary Neville invented a new move today. It's the Football Power Hour. My name is Botswana Papi. You know what? We're just going to quickly talk about this album real quick. The album between Piers Morgan and Ronaldo. My goodness, he's been dropping the thing like it's, the whole week it's been singles. And then I thought he was going to drop the whole thing yesterday. I was disappointed. He's like, nah, you gotta come back for part 2, for the flip side, for the B side of the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, it's like a double disc. So anyway, we're gonna be just quickly talking about the first disc of this double disc from Piers Morgan and Cristiano. Big up to you for joining in real quick. It's gonna be a quick one because Cristiano and Piers Morgan are about to release the second collaboration. So anyway, before we get to that, let's talk about the Gary Neville switch up real quick. Look at this. Let's look at this real quick, briefly. Oh my goodness, my guy. This is my guy Gary, legendary Gary. Let's just go right here. Let's go right here. Around here.
He won't enjoy this
in
his life. And it happens to us all where we have these moments of dips where we don't quite, to be fair, behave or do the things that we always want to do. And I think he's going through one of those moments. And when I saw him on the interview, I have to say, he is a sensitive, quite vulnerable character, Cristiano, for all his greatness and his special talent.
He's a sensitive, quite vulnerable guy, Cristiano. 4 weeks ago, we didn't care about his sensitivity and his vulnerability.
He's a sensitive individual, as to be fair, most people are deep down. And, he looked a little bit like a lost sheep at times, I thought, when he was speaking in that interview. And the reality of it is he's done it. I think you have to always applaud someone who comes out and speaks their mind. I can never, ever criticize.
Okay, that's actually one of the major things that I wanted to just also highlight and be like, you know what? We have to give Cristiano props for just speaking his mind. I'm a fan of that. There are some people that are not a fan of that. They're close friends of mine that just want 11 robots versus 11 robots. They don't talk nothing. They talk is right after the game when they're it was a good game. We fought. We gave our all. Blah, 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 blah. Nothing else. Some fans want that. I'm the type of fan that's different. I'm sorry. I want to know what's going on because I care about the well-being of the players that I support. The players that if I'm going to wear the back of your name on the back of my shirt, I have to know a lot more about you just because I'm a fan. And I want to care and know if you're going through a difficult time. And you know what? Nobody can ever dispute the power of opening up. Because when you open up and when you talk to somebody and talk about a problem, a hurdle you're facing, you can save a soul. Suicide happens every day, man. People go through difficult situations every day. Ronaldo opening up, talking about his grief like that. Woo! I have to just give him props for that. I'm sorry I got to do it right now while Gary Neville is on the front screen. But you know what? We have to commend that. That's big, But onto Gary real quick about being like, this is the switch up. Because you know what? The next part is over here. I think it's a little further around like the Right here.
He feels that you're
important
against him. He claims you've spoken about him in order to get attention for yourself. What did you make of that, and what are your feelings towards him now?
That's pretty much what Ronaldo said, right? Gary using me for clicks. and he broke the code. We fought together. If you collaborate with somebody and are part of something special, and football players move from team to team, but some teams are different from others, and the bonds and the collaborations that you form with certain people, like they are there's some codes, and that code seems like Gary Neville broke it, and now he's seeming to be like, let me do the Gary Neville. Love Ronaldo, I bet there was a little bit of a conversation in that WhatsApp group. They gotta have a WhatsApp group, a little email chain or something. Every reunion, I bet not all of them obviously are in there, or not all of them come to the reunion, but a real reunion dinner between, Scholesy, between Gary Neville, between Rio, Frank LeBeouf talks about this. He's part of like the reunion dinners that happen between players, the French squad, the core players of the French squad that won France 98. So, I mean, it's not an impossible thing to imagine. Obviously, it's one of those things. Who goes to that high school reunion? Who goes to that college reunion? You know what I mean? Some people and some people don't. So it's got to be one of those things where there's a little code where it seems like a violation was made by Gary, and now he had to do the Gary Neville.
It's not true what he said, but the reality of it is, I think that all's fair in love and war. I know that I live in the game of criticism and that I have to accept it back, and I get plenty of it back. I love all my teammates that I played with, including Cristiano. And to be fair, the disappointment I have in the last few months is that he dropped below a standard that I know he hasn't. I know he's set previously in his behaviour, and he'll realise that.
This is the biggest switch up.
I know he hasn't. I know that he's set previously in his behaviour, and he'll realise that one day in 10, 15 years, as I have at many times during my life. It's a little bit wrong at the time. I suspect he's a little bit uncomfortable at this moment in time in terms of the fallout of what's happened, because deep down he's a sensitive, good human being. And he's just at the end of the day not handling probably the latter part of his career as easily as he could do, or as well as he could do, because he's got that mentality that I can't describe that people have of his ilk, that just...
What's up, Luca?
I say it's a monster mentality that basically means they cannot accept things going against them or obstacles being put in the way. And they do think everybody's against them, but the reality of it is it isn't like that.
We're talking about the biggest switch up in football today. Gary Neville's perspective and take on Ronaldo. Luca, I don't know, you were probably not here for the stream where I literally sort of broke down just what a couple of important legends, some, not all obviously, but some of the important legends are sort of made of Ronaldo in, Ronaldo out spectrum, where it was pretty much just a summation of what the players were talking, what our pundits were talking about, and it pretty much just was sort of like this. I'll give it to you in 1 minute. Look at this, Luke. So it was a Ronaldo in, or rather, let's start with out. Let's say Ronaldo out and Ronaldo in here. It was CR7, right? And it was pretty much like this. This is the spectrum, right? In the Ronaldo out camp, we had the first person. Matter of fact, yeah, it was Gary Neville. He was the one that was Ronaldo out. We called him the Nevilists. He was like Ronaldo and Man United need to pack that bag. They need to separate ASAP. The divorce needs to happen right now for everybody's good. And then there was the who? I believe it might have been the. Hold on, I flipped this around because over here it was in and out. Let's do this. We're gonna move the Neville real quick over here. Now I had a little picture of it, and we call them the Nevilists. That's what they believed. Ronaldo out. He's over the hill. He's over the performance sort of like curve that like every player has to go through. That's what the Nevilists believe. And then over here we had the Keenists, and now Keanism was like Ronaldo cannot be an 88th minute player. He cannot be given Donny van de Beek minutes, and he has to be, there needs to be a conversation. And there was like a lot of empathy also between the Keenists and the Rioists. This was Rio Ferdinand and Roy Keane. Rio Ferdinand was empathizing. They were saying, oh no, communication breakdown happened between Ten Hag and Ronaldo. And then between the Keenists and the Rioists, we had the Stammites. The Stammites were actually the more balanced ones that were like, oh well, Ronaldo, he needs to, like, we made this chart. This is a Ronaldo in out spectrum after Ronaldo's um the second strike. After after he got that punishment, and some people were like, well, the Stamets were like, well, if he gets the punishment and he's fine with being a backup or playing second fiddle or third fiddle. So that's what the Stamites were believing. And then all of these guys, though, they were like, Ronaldo out, Ronaldo in, and this one was Ronaldo out, right? And the Stamites were more like the more centered, sort of like most balanced, but even though there was still more Ronaldo out, Ronaldo in than out. So it was just sort of like, this is a summation of what they believe. But now Gary Neville is the person why we had to make this stream. I wasn't really going to talk really about part one of this album between Piers Morgan and Ronaldo, but Gary Neville, his perspective, I was like, what kind of switch up is this? He's now supporting her. That was crazy. That was crazy. But anyway, that aside, I just have to really just quickly in 2 minutes. I just want to just have a little bit of time before watching the interview. But what I want to say is Ronaldo mentioned the absence of David Gill and that gap, and that's the one thing that was really important to put in the forefront, because what a lot of people don't realize is that, Luca, I am so well, my friend. I'm excited for part 2. How are you? Oh, I love you for subbing, my friend, and I would love for you to appear here, my friend. And we're gonna do a little World Cup videos sometime in the next few days, my friend. I was so happy when I saw your subscription. So thank you so much, Luca in the house. And who else is in the house? Gonzo is in the building. So Gonzo. And Gonzo says, people question Ronaldo's intentions, saying Glazers because it's out of selfish, but then why do they care about Eric Ten Hag stuff? Because interviews intention is to leave. Okay, because the point of the interview is to leave. Yeah, people question Ronaldo's. I know. For me, I I always find it funny when they're like, oh, he's earning blah blah blah. Yo, salary aside, why you listen to the message? Listen, there's some stuff in there that you can take up and pick apart and be like, there's some truth in there. Why you can't just be like, I'm gonna shut my ears, I'm not gonna listen to this guy, because his intentions are, it's because he wants to leave the club, so whatever he says about the Glazers bears no value. Come on now, what kind of thinking is that? It says something about you if you're gonna reason like that. But I have to commend him for just being open about talking about grief, because he's being big up to you, Gonzo, as always. Big up to you. We have to commend Ronaldo about talking about a very difficult subject, because grief and depression and mental blocks are things that as men we shy away from them. We never want to go head on and be like, yo, it's okay to open up. And Ronaldo this is monumental. People are going to just easily brush up over this if you want, but this is really big. It's showing a lot of people in this generation that, you know what, it's fine to open up. You can actually help somebody else that's going through a similar situation or a little hurdle. You know what I mean? So big up to Ronaldo for that. You can right now, part 1 of the interview, I really didn't like the take when he sort of dismissed Ralph Rangnick because of not knowing who Ralph is. I mean, just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean that they can't be great. Luca, Gonzo, I know you guys. You guys are great. That's why you here. No, but still, Gonzo, for real, greatness is something that you can't always be like, oh, because I don't know you, you're just judging a book by the cover. So come on, brush that aside, and Ronaldo, and actually have a better take. So I know there's gonna be the explosive parts. We're really waiting on the explosive part. So this is gonna be a really, really quick review of that part 1. The last thing that I want to just say is that Piers Morgan's type of questioning, man. Piers Morgan, you gotta improve your journalism skills, man. If you claim to be the good journalist that you would claim to be, you have to improve your skills. What is the thing? What's the point of being asking a question how was it telling your other kids about the when the grief conversation about how to how difficult it was. It was such a very sensitive topic that I was uncomfortable, and I'm not you know what I mean. I was just like, this is murky ground, Piers. What are we trying to achieve by asking so detailed questions about, like, how do you tell your other kids about the other kids? I guess one may say, all right, it's about, like, dealing with loss and how to, mourn and stuff. But maybe in that way, maybe that could help somebody. But it was just like, come on, PS, what are you benefiting from that? So I hope the next questions are gonna actually give us some points that are gonna deliver somewhere, because we need to move on from this. One thing we can for sure say is that we're not gonna be seeing iPhone 5s at Manchester United no more. Man, yo, big up to you. Kushna in the building. That part of the interview was really sad. So I hope we don't talk about grief no more, and we talk about the green and gold and move our club forward. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, Piers Morgan, we're gonna see better swimming pools. We can better saunas, jacuzzis, and better iPhones. Better, no more floppy disks, no more CD players at Man United, no more VHS tapes. We gonna see some real world class dumbbells, not the same shit that George Best was using, not the same treadmill that Roy Keane been using. We gonna see some upgraded state of the art shit, a good sound system. We need some good shit. We need some, we need to be Man United, So at least we can thank Ronaldo for that. So that's all I'm going to say about that part of the interview. Yo, Gonzo, I'm going to read this real quick, and then we're going to wrap up, and then we're going to do a review of part 2 and the whole album. But, man, this whole interview sucks. Gonzo says, this whole interview just sucks, man. Wish it didn't come to this, but shows how bad the Glazers are, and that this is the only option to force a move. Gonzo, you're predicting right now, any disgruntled player. Here, I'll give you my socials. It's at Football Power Hour. I'll give you Piers Morgan socials, and you can go do your tell-all. You're going to get your move out. Any player that needs an exit, Jesse Lingard wasted a whole year. All you had to do was contact Piers Morgan. Actually, I don't hope like that's the way that the trend goes, but it sucks that the Glazers have to make the whole situation come to this. Ronaldo had to really shake the tree and be like, "Oh, let me out." It sucks, but it really, that's what the reality is. But anyway, big up to you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, whatever, all that stuff. Comment, give your thoughts. I really love yo, Maguire. Guys, we can't talk about Harry right now. No. How does Maguire fit into this situation? Or him forcing a move? If he walked down, if Harry Maguire walked down the tunnel, would just be like, no camera is gonna focus on it. Guys, no. Why are you making me laugh, bro? No, Maguire, he can do his tell-all. I really actually know, without laughing so much though, Maguire he's somebody who's faced a lot of criticism, and he's had some, I'm sure, mental obstacles and happiness things that he might be able to tell and give an empowering story. Because guys, thank you for joining in. Don't forget to, next time you in here, you gotta share, because there's power in sharing. And that's the theme for today's review real quick. See y'all on part 2 between this album between Ronaldo and Piers Morgan. It's